Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and we're going to do something a little bit different. We're doing some more interviews, right? That's always been kind of fun. And today we've got VENRIS from SFO. How are you doing?
Hello, hello. Thank you. I'm very good. I'm as good as the community right now.
That's good. That's good. It seems like everything is going well and yeah, there's a lot to talk about. I wanted to have you on the channel because obviously we've done this before when everything wasn't so great.
Yeah. We have a perspective right now.
Yeah, it's been I think what 4 or 5 months since we did the last one.
Yeah,
Maybe.
it was end of the year, so yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so this will be quite good because obviously things have changed. We've had the update to Shadows of Change, we've had Thrones of Decay dropping, and just so much has been happening in the past few weeks, which it's looking like a little bit of a. I'm calling it the apology tour, you know?
Yeah. I would not say this is like a full revitalization, but yeah, it's like an apology tour that I hope it didn't end
Yeah,
just yet.
long may it rain, long may it rain. But yeah, so what do you want to start with? Do you want to start with Thrones of Decay? This is the big thing that we've been talking about a lot on DMs and so on. It's quite the surprising DLC even to me. I wasn't expecting it to be so good, in all honesty.
Oh yeah. I have to say that the quality of the DLC really reminds the time of the best DLC of Warhammer 2.
Mm. Yeah, it feels like well, not really Hunting the Beast. Well, it wasn't too bad when it came to that because it was quite unique. But yeah, like Twist in the Twilight and so on. It's heavy with content. It's heavy with just replayability for people being able to play different factions from those same specific races. The reworks seem to be quite good. Let's start off with everything. Let's go on with the one race that people didn't really like that much since Warhammer 2. Nurgle. What do you think?
Oh, okay. So this is a bit problematic for me because I think the Nurgle rework is the best what it could have been, but I'm still not fully happy about the faction. I feel that some things are missing, but like the plague reworks is awesome. It's really fantastic thing.
Mm.
Yeah, the how the army abilities are being done is very good. The buildings one is very good. Also the technology tree. I really like that they started to add abilities into technology tree. So all of these are really good, but I still feel maybe it's because I'm not a big Nurgle fan
Yeah.
overall, but I feel that this rework is what people wanted and they actually listen. So most of the things were addressed.
Yeah, I mean, I avoided Kugath and the other characters ever since the launch of Warhammer 3. It was, well, we didn't have the other characters until recently, but you know what I mean. The Nurgle faction was just not fun.
Yep.
Now I can play through all three of the Nurgle characters and go, okay, this is a great campaign. I can theme it like this, I can do that, which is obviously something quite important when you're trying to get yourself immersed into such a large game. Um, I'm pleasantly surprised that they did such a nice change with Kugath being able to make those super plagues and so on was quite cool. And obviously, Epidemius is a free legendary lord. Just
Yeah.
you
Praise the
know,
god for that.
yeah,
Three
it's
legendary lords are back.
about time, honestly, and it's such a good thing because I had a lot of fun with him actually. It's a difficult campaign at the beginning because obviously you're fighting Malice, but afterwards you kind of get the ball rolling. If you can throw a lot of plagues out, I think by turn 100 and something, about 120, I had all of Nargothrond, most of Orth 1. I was pushing into Lustria at that point. It was quite a fun campaign, and all of the North, obviously. When it came to Tamacon, I am on a bit of an opposite thing for you. I really like Tamacon.
Hmm. Yeah, we
Uh,
spoke about it.
yeah, because like it felt like I was reading through the book.
Hmm.
So it was like,
Yeah, that's the difference because I didn't read the books.
yeah, well, I mean, it's a hard book to come by. I think nowadays, if you go on eBay, it's like 200 euros or something. But there's something about it which is like, this felt like
Mhm.
this, it felt like the Throne of Chaos book. And it's something that I feel is really important when it comes to DLCs.
Mhm.
Because then you look towards ones that just didn't make sense, like Shadow and the Blade, for example, Skaven versus Dark Elves. The plot wasn't there.
Yeah.
So I like it, even though there was no like full story. It felt like there was a story, you know?
Yeah. This is the point that many people were also thinking about it, and me included, that there is no story. This is a first DLC, doesn't counting the Shadows of Change, that there is no story.
Yeah.
Because those mini stories in the Vortex campaign in Warhammer 2 were very good.
Yeah.
In most cases, yeah.
I think it might have been, obviously this isn't confirmed or anything, but possibly some of the writers who did the stories originally are just not working on Warhammer 3 anymore, or might have been let go during the process of the layoffs. But I don't mind no story as long as the story is felt through the campaign, which I think all three characters kind of do that. I mean, Malachi's one is great.
But they don't feel like one big pack, yeah? They just feel like a three separated DLC. And it's great that you can buy them as a separated DLC also.
Yeah.
Because like, if you really don't like Tamakan, you cannot buy this DLC and have a lot of fun with Kugath right now, especially after the changes. Same goes with Karl Franz, Geld, sadly not with the Dwarves because they didn't get so much love in Vanilla Lords. But the rest, those DLCs are not mandatory, and this is the thing that I think is the best in this DLC. They are not mandatory because the rest of the factions Lords also got something.
Yeah, the pricing is surprisingly good. It's a bit more expensive, essentially, but the fact that it's been separated and a lot of love went into all the races, this is a big thing that I was telling people in my review and throughout the Shadows of Change issue. It wasn't about the price, it was about the content that came with the price, you know?
Yes. The Shadows of Change, even I think Shadows of Change with the additions that they did later on, I don't consider it worth it, really.
Yeah.
After the time.
If they would have fixed up a few things with Kislev and a few things with Cafe, a bit maybe. Because obviously people don't seem to realize this, but the development cycle, even though you're not paying for the reworks, it's still part of that development cycle and the development cost. Yes. So, and obviously that's something that you would yourself know as a developer yourself, not only just for your mod, but your own game too, which we'll be talking about a bit later. So there is cost, and we were still paying for less, essentially.
Yeah. And you cannot judge the faction DLC without consideration of the reworks, especially right now with the dwarves and so on. And the problem with Shadows of Change that besides small kata changes with the harmony, there were no actual changes.
Yeah, it's
and Changeling was such an experimental campaign that you cannot even consider it part of Zinch faction roster.
It's a fun campaign. I'm not gonna like shit on it or anything, but it's a one and done. You'll do it once.
I just wanted to say it. Like turn 20, 30, maybe 50. I got like 60 turns, I think, and I drop it and it's like, okay, I'm done.
I feel like they could have improved him by I think actually isn't something in SFO, I think it's one character where you start a campaign and then it gives you the options to switch to go to a different start position and stuff.
Yeah, we had it in Warriors of Chaos in Warhammer 2 because each of the Warriors of Chaos were starting in the same position and each had 4 more positions to pick from. So you can start in every place fighting elves, lizardmen and so on. It was very fun. And a simple change, by the way.
Yeah, and I mean, something like that would have been great because there's so many theaters for the Changeling. It could have been great if you start off and then you go, okay, today I'm going to do a Changeling campaign, but I want to start off in Industrial, I'm going to start off in Cafe, whatever.
It would be even possible to just make less of his mission because he has those missions, the theaters, make less of them, but they will be separated to the different places because right now this is only Empire, and Empire is dead very fast.
Yeah.
Usually is if you play evil faction, so like his mechanic dies ASAP. This is the same problem that Empire had before the rework. The core of Empire rework was non-existent after 50 turns.
Well, let's move on back to Thrones because it's the happier time, isn't it?
Way happier.
Let's talk about, before we jump into the other stuff, let's go back to Nurgle a little bit. What do you think about the Nurgle roster, the stuff that's been added in?
I have to say that I really like Plague Ogres addition, sadly.
This
is a good addition to Nurgle because it's semi-fast unit and it's chunky in a way that it can take damage, even that is quite high tier. And also the Rot Knights. The Rot Knights are awesome. This is like a
Yeah.
Blood Crusher, Skull Crusher equivalent for the Nurgle, and the idea of them is really good. The rest of the units are just cool as addition. So Pestigors, they are fast,
Yeah.
way better in modern than Xanagors, by the way.
Mhm.
And Toad Dragon doesn't change anything in the roster, but it's cool to
Yeah.
have it.
Honestly, I'm quite happy with the additions. The Rot Beasts, the Rot Knights in general were a big surprise for me because obviously they never had a model, barring the one that Kazek had in the Throne of Chaos campaign back in the day. So seeing them as proper units rather than just get a knight, paint it green, and put it on a bigger base, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
this looks great. As the damage
Those are,
output is
those are
good.
Warhounds, by the way, or what?
Rot Beast, there's a completely new creature. Well, they're not really new. They were there in the Throne of Chaos book, but it was only represented with Kazek. It's supposed to be just like a mutated kind of like, I don't know how I would put it, to be honest. Like,
Chihuahua.
yeah,
Mutated Chihuahua.
It's just a giant angry Chihuahua. Yeah. They bite as much too, but yeah, they're good. The Bile Trolls. It was nice to see stuff that I've painted in the past. You know, like these are big models which never saw a lot of tabletop time by the tabletop players because getting into Throne of Chaos stuff was Forge World stuff, and that was fairly expensive. So you're getting stuff that people couldn't have always had and always wanted to use, and now they can use it in the game. I think it's always a tugging on the heartstrings, right? A lot of the really cool stuff was added in. This was to me like a big Forge World DLC too, you know?
Yeah, and what is great that the Nurgle stuff, none of it is reskin.
Yeah.
Like there are actual new stuff, like, even with the Pestigors, because like the additions with Shadows of Change, the Zinch Centigors, they were just
Yeah.
the same model with feathers. Yeah, so mashup we can say. But those everything is new. They may not change the roster dramatically, but they look cool and they feel new.
Yeah. I'm actually quite surprised because we did technically have like a bit of a reskin, which was the Chaos Lord, the melee version.
Oh, yeah. But the Nurgle Sorcerer is looking great. He's a new model.
Yeah, that's a fantastic new look. It's just really stylized. I wasn't expecting I was expecting more of a heavily armored dude, and this guy looks more like a plague priest essentially. You know, he's
It's a very very good model, and the Lord, I was thinking it is a mashup from the existing parts, but he's not. He's not. He got some new stuff, but what to do more here? Yeah, it's
yeah.
You cannot reinvent the wheel because it's good.
Yeah,
good.
no, definitely. So now that we've got 3 characters for Nurgle, which is great, you know, having in more mono god factions and so on, we should probably turn our attentions to the fan favorite, obviously, the Empire. I think first we'll talk about the reworks because there was 2 major reworks essentially for the Empire, one for Karl Franz and one for Gelt. What do you think about that?
So I was the biggest enemy of the previous rework of Empire. I said it countless of time. I think the rework that was done for the Empire in Warhammer 2 made this faction worst. To the point that I never liked it to play it. Many people tried to fix it. That was impossible because it was just RNG generator of what will happen and what Electrocon will just die or be pissing you off.
Yeah.
What they did especially with the Imperial authority, that is like a counter how many settlements you have that affect all the Empire, which is fantastic. Prestige for Karl Franz to use to actually be an emperor. And the Geld rework with the School of Magic, with Geld being the best mage in the universe right now.
Yeah.
It's OP, but it's very fun. And personally, from all of those 3 reworks, Empire is my favorite. Like, it's the best.
Yeah, they feel like DLC lords, which was great because we know on record that Creative Assembly publicly stated this a while back that they never wanted the base game lords to be like feeling like DLC characters. They're supposed to be the vanilla ones. I was like,
oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they stated that a while back. I can't remember when exactly it was, but I remember making a video saying that was the most stupidest thing they've ever said.
Yes, it was.
And it looks like they've turned around on that, which is great. You know, it gives me hope in the future for Malekith, Tyrion, pretty much a lot of characters that need a little bit of love. So I'm pretty happy. I mean, Gelt is stupid fun now, you know, like...
He's very strong, but this is the power creep that you build to. Yeah,
Yeah.
can speak about it later, especially in terms of Malachi.
Mm.
But like you feel the progression and you know where you want to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't mind when mechanics are very strong. Elspeth mechanic is very strong, but you need to build to it.
Yeah.
So the feeling of progression is great, and the fact that Geld have the idea that you were speaking about the changeling, so you can start in Cathay or you can move back to the Empire is awesome. It's
Yeah.
just awesome, and it fixed the problem with overcrowding with lords in one place.
Yeah. That's true. The Empire's feeling, even still now, is. You can tell that the scale for the map is not as big as it should be as we start reaching 100 legendary lords, obviously. But like, yeah, the freedom to breathe is so good, especially like I enjoyed staying in cafe and playing in cafe. I was like that is different. You have that whole little dating simulator with Zhao Ming, you know,
Yes, yes.
and it just
But no,
makes
this
it
is a
easier.
great idea.
Yeah, it definitely feels good. It
I think
definitely
this is
feels
the
good.
first time we have actually like a pairing of legendary lords from different factions.
Mm.
There was like an idea with it with Malekith and Morathi, but it was only the relations increase. I hope in relations only.
Yeah.
But overall, this is actually something cool. And as you play Xiao Ming, you don't have it, sadly.
Yeah.
But it's cool that it's one-sided in a way.
Yeah. You're
And I would
trying
love,
to get his attention.
and this is the wasted opportunity for me right now with Belagar and Karakate Peaks.
Yeah.
Nothing was done in this direction, sadly.
Yeah, I did find that weird that nothing was changed, but I have hope that we might see in the future something to do with, you know, a patch. It doesn't have to be like a DLC, it has to be around a patch. Belagar, Queek, and Skarsnik, all three of them getting attention in one patch would be great.
Yeah.
Is I recently streamed Belagar myself, and it even though the rework is still very, very good, it was soul sucking because of the minus 50% upkeep. It's punishing for the sake of punishing, right?
Yeah. It's artificial punishment. It would be better if it would be recruitment time, things like that. Something that slows you down. But this is like the punch in the gut.
Yeah, yeah.
That's playing with him. That's 50% upkeep is it's like uber hard mode.
Yeah, and there's just no reason to like you'd get 8 peaks and then you'd be okay. Like I'm done. That's it. That's the end of the campaign, which I could do in 10 turns. I could literally just
You can choose
confederate.
it very easy.
Yeah, there needs to be something to it. But yeah, back to the Empire. Elspeth, what did you think about that one? That was different, actually.
Yeah, I was surprised because from the materials I didn't have any early access like you, so I was not able to test her. But from the materials, I was thinking that she would be the worst from all of the bunch. When I played her, I had the most fun.
Yeah,
This is the campaign that I finished with long victory, and I was like, yeah, that was cool from the beginning to the end. Like the premise of Gunner School was there. It wasn't overpowered, and it was really fun. And I had a lot of tough battles against vampires, especially in the blood. Yeah,
yeah.
because he was hard countering everything that I was doing.
It was a really interesting campaign. The fact is, everyone wanted a gunpowder based faction, right? And Null is supposed to be that gunpowder based faction. So seeing it there and actually going, oh, we got a lot of death magic. We can imbue death magic into our bullets and stuff like that. You know, it's like, this is great. I saw some people complaining, going, oh yeah, but this is Ikit Claw 2.0. I was like, well, yeah, that's the thing. The Skaven steal the tech and the ideas from the other races. So
yeah, I was thinking the same, that it is just a mashup of other or other idea with the mechanic, but it's really not.
yeah.
In a way, because you don't unlock those followers, the items, ROR units. It is the same, but have an entire different feeling to it.
Yeah, there's
It's weird, but they managed to do it.
Yeah, like I don't mind, and I've said this publicly. It's like I don't mind if stuff gets reused as long as it gets reimagined, because
Yes.
if it makes sense with a specific character, it's how it's going to be. You know, it's one thing a lot of people are saying. It's like, oh well, I recently did what's missing for the dwarfs video, right? And some people went, oh, well, you're missing this character, that character, that character, that character. It's like, these are all kings and thanes. They're going to be exactly the same as everyone else. There's nothing unique about them. It's just a different hair color and maybe a different weapon, and that's it. Why do you want that when you could have Bugman or stuff like that? You know, there's unique stuff that comes into effect. And even then, I said, well, what if it used this, this, and this? It's like, yeah, but that's reworking that. It's like, again, there's limitations to the game. Obviously, the engine is, you know, probably imploding into itself.
A lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, very obvious. But also, just reusing mechanics which has been done a lot through Thrones of Decay, but reimagined makes it fresh and makes it good.
Yeah. Because we will talk about with the dwarves, but like even the the workshop, the new one, as it has a different progression than the e-kit, feels different because not only for the unit but also the rewards, and how you get the results. Like the slight change here, and the UI is way better, by the way. Everything is seen on the screen. It's really good, and I also don't mind if something is done right, just for the different other faction, but if it's not a copy. And the Karl Franz mechanic is the Zinch one, it just reworked.
Yeah, that's true. That's
using the same panel, everything is the same, but it fits here.
Yeah.
Why not use it?
So
someone made a great, sorry for interrupting, the great mod that adds the Chaos Dwarf ladder mechanic to High Elves.
Yes, I think that was Rocks, right?
Yeah, Rocks. Yeah. He's doing very good mods.
Oh yeah, fantastic
like
stuff.
That. But the mechanically that actually fits the different faction with just a flavor change.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it's again, if it fits, it fits. it's that simple, right? But yeah, let's move on to the roster for the Empire. Dude, I don't want to recruit any other Lord options barring the Engineer Lord anymore.
They tried to make General and Architecture a bit better, but again, this is a problem with every DLC. Like, new Lords have so many cool abilities, so many new skills that you don't use the old ones.
Yeah, Steam Tank mounts.
The Steam Tank. Steam Tank is very powerful in Vanilla, especially that you can recruit the Elector Count 1 and you just...
Exactly.
You just broom the whole battlefield and you just win, because AI can handle such unit.
Yeah.
They really have a problem. But for me, the roster didn't change much. It's not such a big change like it was for the Nurgle. Especially because the Ironsides and the Hochland are just better handgunners.
Yeah.
They don't add anything. What else? We have the Rose Knights again. As I call them, Flower Knights. They don't change anything. They are very good with a campaign ability.
Yeah.
That they don't die. The land ship is just a bigger steam tank. So again, doesn't change. The volley gun steam tank, it performs exactly the same as the normal steam tank, really.
Well, they had to nerf it because it was too strong. Like, the output damage on the volley tank was way better than the cannon tank.
That's true. But again, it doesn't change anything mechanically here,
Oh no.
And it's cool to have those more options, but even if we do not have those units in the DLC, I think the DLC will be great. Really.
Yeah.
They don't change much, and the thing that I really don't like with this new roster addition is that Empire still looks like from the gutter. The models.
Yeah. It's one of those things. I have noticed that they have been slightly improving as it's been going on with patches recently.
Like that. That's slightly. It's.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lighting issue. It was a lighting issue, and
but they are using the same head for the new units. They are all vanilla assets. The only new assets are actually the Marienburg crew.
Yeah. So here's an interesting thing, and which is why I wasn't so pissed off about the say for example the Ironsides using a lot of the same items and so on. In the tabletop, right, with the Ironsides box, it was basically just that with the gunners' heads. It was like it's the same stuff, right? So
Okay,
for
but
me, it was like, oh, okay, I paid £80 for half a unit.
okay,
so-
but it's 2024. We can invent some stuff and polish them better. Especially if like looking on Kislev how polished it was. Yeah,
yeah.
with what they did with the dwarfs model and the units with the Nurgle. But why not make Empire actually cool, good looking?
So this is something that I think is more of a Games Workshop problem. And I think it's very obvious now, right? Because repeaters, for example, right? Which, Creative Assembly seem to have left the files in the game, which...
Everything is left. Even the unit cards are there.
Yeah.
Unit cards, the models, the files, they are actually you can in game. You just need to click enable the unit, and it will be there.
Yeah.
The repeater versions. Everything is done.
Yeah, so they might have done that as a, okay, we can't release this, leave the files in there, because this I said it when we got to announce the DLC, I said it in a video, it's like, I really don't think this is going to be the thing, because it was never in the tabletop, right? And my brain was already switching on, going, Games Workshop is going to say something, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know why it made it to the trailer.
Yeah, it's in the trailers.
Yeah, and it was confirmed publicly by a few other creators. It was in one of our builds. So it was like, oh, this played very well, and you've got the mod that switches it on, so you can try it out for yourselves. It played very, very well, but I was already thinking, yeah, this is not going to be a thing because it just wasn't in the tabletop, and Games Workshop have this weird thing that, oh yeah, it wasn't, we have to protect our IP, but only when we don't come up with the idea. When it's our idea, that's fine. It's just it's odd.
Yeah,
right?
it felt that way.
Yeah, which is a massive shame because it would have been a nice new gun. You would have done a lot more damage. I mean, don't get me wrong, the iron sights do a stupid amount of damage as it stands, right?
Yeah.
Especially once you pair it up with like you get two engineers in there with the hero buff, and right?
Yeah, because they have a stacking ability skill in campaign. But I feel that there was like a very good premise here that could be done for the Empire as a whole, as a faction. Not only the campaign mechanics are great right now, but the unit roster, just look on the workshop how many Empire Reskin mods there are.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to likely be. They've already hinted that there's going to be like maybe more DLC for the Empire, and I can already think like in my mind I can think of two that could happen. One of them is like almost definite for sure. So it's like
it needs to be an Ulrich DLC.
Yeah, that's the main one. I'd say I'd say now we'd do an Ulrich DLC and then a Knightly Order DLC.
We have a lot of Knightly Orders units already right now.
Yeah, we don't have all of them though. There's like a lot.
Yeah, but what we talked about with the Flower Knights, there's so little differences between them really right now mechanically that you can do. So.
I mean, there could be some cool ones, and then obviously the Grandmaster with kind of like if they use a Grandmaster with the same mechanic as the...
but because I always think about the mods because the mods already have most of them. Okay.
Yeah,
it's vanilla, the Panther and the White Wolf. Yeah, they are mandatory to be added because they are most popular.
Yeah,
right after Rake's card.
Yeah, I mean, if people just use mods, we'd be done. Like the game would be full. You've got like all these unit mods, and obviously then you've got like the one with the skeleton crew, the legendary characters mod. Like it just finishes out everything,
We have the Steam Tank mods, very good mods.
Those ones are very good. Yeah, the Steam Tank mods, which just had all the variants from I think it was 5th edition, which was just insane stuff. That that's why I was so surprised when we got the volley tank. I was like, what? Like that was a White Dwarf supplement. Is this canon now?
Yeah, it has 3 cannons.
Yeah, it's just insane. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think the Empire. I like the gunpowder. I like the play. I'm happy. Now we move on to the dwarfs, which the third and final rework, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I think. Well,
we just had a little rework hotfix for them.
Yes, yeah, the Age of Reckoning stuff came out. Honestly, I'm happy. Like I wasn't too bothered about how it was introduced. People were like, "Oh, it was making the problem here. It's like, well, don't confederate minor factions. You know, that's like the confederating mechanic was supposed to be there for the main ones. You know.
Yeah, I won't agree with that.
Yeah, they did make it too difficult, which
Mhm.
it's not a problem for a person like me or you who play this game a lot. But like
Yeah.
and I did say it in a recent video. It's like, yeah, you know, when it comes to the more casual player, you're probably struggling. So it definitely had to be tuned down. I don't know how Creative Assembly test these things. I'm assuming there's like a veterans group, you know, like a beta group or
Mhm.
stuff, and possibly they're just like, yeah, you know, I've got 50,000 hours in Total War since I was a kid. So that's not the best people that you should be testing stuff with. You know, you should be testing it with, you know, casuals too.
Yeah, but I feel like the Wars DLC was the least tested from all three.
Mm.
Because like in terms of like from a modder's perspective, especially like when SFOI or if something is too strong, we nerf it
Yeah.
or try to have it in line with other mechanics, other DLCs.
Mm.
Nurgle and Empire were very in line with the rest,
Yeah.
but the dwarves was overpowered or unplayable on some parts,
Yeah.
especially the Age of Reckoning.
Yeah.
It becomes unplayable.
They had to
Really bad.
nerf Malachi's grape shot, which was sad because I I had so much fun with that.
Yeah, but maybe getting back to the rework, I sadly didn't like most of the stuff in the Dwarfs rework. The funny thing is that again for on the materials it looked the best for me,
Yeah.
but when I played it, first of all the biggest problem was the Age of Reckoning. It's a timer. I don't like timer mechanics. I felt very stressed about it,
Yeah.
especially that I dwarves are my most played factions since Warhammer 1. I played the most campaign with them because always was my best faction, and I always treated them as a turtle faction.
Okay.
So I stay, I wait for the enemies, and if I want, I spread, and you cannot do it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair. Fair.
And I get the idea, but you should more control it if you can go with it or not. The other problem is the scaling problem. Yes, it's scaling like crazy. I didn't check the yesterday hotfix, but it's supposedly to be fixed.
Yeah, they scaled it down a lot. Now it's 15 turns. They did make the Grudge settler stuff a little bit more.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, I think it's better.
Yeah, but let me just finish with everything. Like, then we have the Great Book of Grudges channel. It's way better, especially that it's very reminiscent to the mod that Drunk Flamingo made
Yes.
in Warhammer 2, and we had it in SFO with the Grudges. So it's very good. The Confederation also, we had it the same way, exact the same way. But like how the building tiers were changed, I really don't like because you get too strong units too fast, and that closes in vanilla half of the roster from you because there's no reason to recruit Thunderers or the Quarrelers because you can just get Iron Drakes at turn 5, or something like that. On the other side, the technology tree is great, especially that it adds abilities to the units. Very, 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 very good.
Yeah,
but besides that,
formations and stuff.
I don't know. I like to turtle as dwarves. I don't like the fact that they become the corn worshippers and have a bloodletting mechanic.
See, I kind of like it because it's very reminiscent of because like the dwarves aren't active right in terms of lore. But when they do get active, they get really active. Like when the War of the Beard started off, you know, they went from the Karazhan Corps straight to like the border to Ulthuan and stuff.
But they are like steroids right now. Like they are angry all the time.
That's me, man. That's like that's literally me.
Sure.
But I'm happy.
Should be like.
That's insane. I didn't even know you could do that on Discord. That's incredible.
Yeah, you can. There's a sound panel and you can add things like.
That's amazing.
Do you hear the voices too?
That's incredible. I didn't even know that. That's something I'm gonna have to learn. But
also you have underways with dwarves, which is a big win.
It's about time. It is honestly about time. Like a mechanic that people have been requesting since game 1, essentially.
Yeah, and even more when Wood Elves got it.
Yeah. It's like Well, kind of. That's what happens though, because like remember we got Undercities with the Vampire Coast before we actually ended up getting Undercities properly. You know, it was the Cove mechanic. Everyone had to complain, and then they made it really quickly. So it's like okay, you know, like it better late than never in that case. But
that was not quickly.
yeah,
Here.
no, it
Like
took a
3 years?
while. Well, it feels like longer than 3 years because we had that 2 year like weird part. Then. I mean, dwarf roster is great. I like Slayers, man. I've always been a fan. So yeah,
Goblin Hero especially, it's so cool.
yeah. Like they went out. I saw a lot of people complaining about the roster because like, oh, but we should have had this and that. It's like no, we had the 6th edition Storm of Chaos Slayer list, and I'm all for it. Fucking Doom Seekers, Slayer Pirates, like
And the models for dwarves, amazing, all of them. The new animation, we got the Garagame Iron Fist. By the way, Garagame Iron Fist was first made in SFO as a mod. Then later, many years later, was a standalone mod by a different team. But we made it first. That was the first character I made, by the way, in modding.
Wow, it's how long ago was that?
5 years ago or something like that.
I'm aging.
Yeah, we are aging.
but
yeah, all of the Thunder Badge is crazy. They just nerfed it, but yeah, everything is cool. Everything is working.
They nerfed it because people were crying about it in multiplayer. It's like,
who plays multiplayer?
yeah, it's one of these things where the game should really. It's not going to happen for this game, that's for sure. But like future games, they need to have 2 separate balancing. You know, like. It has to be a single player and it has to be a multiplayer thing because big things have to be ridiculous.
40k goes that way.
Yeah, no, I think it should. I mean, we'll talk about the potential 40k a little bit later down the line, but it does need to have separate balancing because
yes, there are a lot of problems in this regard.
Yeah, because if you start getting last cannons
in campaign and so like Total War will be always about cheesing, but you should not cheese in multiplayer battles, especially.
Yeah. It's not fair on us. It's not fair on the 5 people who play multiplayer. You know, it's just it's an odd thing. But Malachite, so cool, man! Like so freaking cool.
He's cool, but he's too strong from the get-go.
Yes, but he's super cool. Though.
I really like get to power. You got Gore-Tex, you got Felix, you get the Spirit of Grungi. In 10 turns or 5, you're able to get the Grape Shot. You never struggle. You're taking the Hell Pit in like 5 turns.
Yeah.
I played on very hard with him, and I dropped after 20 turns. I was like, I got the Doom stack already with Iron Drakes. Everything is. His mechanics are very good. Like the adventures are a better Norska hand. So the thing that we spoke about, this is like a twist on that mechanic that is way better than Norska hand, especially that you can pick which mission you can go and not this boring chains with Norska.
Yeah.
Besides that, he got the Spirit of Grungi, and that's all in terms of mechanics. But yeah, that's enough to make him fun.
Yeah. One big thing is characters don't need to have like loads of new mechanics. What they need to have is just stuff that works and works well.
Yeah, one good working mechanic is enough for the faction, really.
Yeah.
Because if we do abundance of mechanic, like Mother of Stankia had, or even the Katai Lord.
I thought you on bow was fine, to be honest.
But it's a lot that he can get.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of math, and you have to kind of plan. Oh, I'm going to use this token here, and
that's what I meant. Yeah,
yeah.
That was also the feeling first time I played Chaos Wars. Like, there's so many stuff here.
Yeah,
I would even move some stuff to be Legendary Lord specific.
Yeah,
for the Chaos Wars because there are so many stuff out there. But Malachi is good, but it's way too strong in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean they've nerfed it in the recent hotfix and so on. They've nerfed a few things. He's still going to be very, very strong. I'm just glad that Creative Assembly remembered that they have a pseudo horde mechanic. You know, it's been a while. Like modders, thankfully, use it often. You used it a lot with Wolfric and so on. Pardon?
It's very easy to do.
Yeah.
Make a specific legendary lord or a character to be a horde.
Yeah. Because it's it makes sense, right? Like for certain characters, like you did this with Wolfric, right? Yeah,
Wolfric had it in Warhammer 2, when in 3 we made it for Alberic.
yeah, because it's themed, right? And it just makes a lot of sense. And it's something that doesn't get utilized a lot by Creative Assembly, which is weird to me because people like
Yeah.
it and it's better than a normal horde.
Yeah, right now the horde factions are only Nakai and Beastmen, like actual hordes.
Yes, the Beastmen are fine with how they are being hordes because I mean it makes sense, and obviously you do get the headstones and so on. But like Nakai, I still don't find fun. I'll be honest with you. I just can't.
Nakai have a lot of problems.
Yeah, and, just
Like the whole DLC had a lot of problems.
yeah.
Same goes with Wolfheart. That is in dust still. He doesn't get any reworks.
Yeah, I mean Wolfheart is still fun. Like if you want to play Jurassic Park, and you've got an option now. Like for example, if you use a mod to put him into the Drac world, he will automatically get the authority stuff. You know, which is a great thing.
Yeah, because if you go to you got any Empire territory, you get the authority, which is great.
Yeah, I think it's a nice thing of do this and get a new mechanic for these factions. It's like that's actually quite cool, you know. Like it fits. It fits. But yeah, I mean, overall, Malachi I thought was a great addition. I'm the only one that kind of really went ham on that prediction, though, because a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's Grim Burlux." I remember some other content creators going, "Oh, yeah," because one guy is saying Malachi all the time. It doesn't mean he's right. I'm thinking,
Yeah, he was right.
I was like, I messaged that creator afterwards. I was like, "You're saying dickheads," because
and with him also we have the rework of Gortek and Felix.
yeah, that's
which is good.
That was needed too. That was really needed. It felt like I don't know. I don't know why I wasn't expecting this much. Well, obviously yes, because of the whole Shadows of Change situation. But when we started getting when we were shown the stuff in early access, I was going, "This sounds great." You know, like
too good.
Yeah. It's like, what's going on, right? Did I hit my head before I turned on before I joined the conversation and stuff? Like, because this sounds too good to be true. And then they gave us access. I'm like, okay, shit, this is actually true. Like, I was super surprised, and it was just great to see Gotrek and Felix playable in a aspect where you don't have them for like 15 turns and then they leave and stuff.
I never liked their implementation and I never used them.
Yeah, there was no point. There was no point.
Yeah. The implementation, like the Creative Assembly was really afraid of legendary heroes back then.
Yeah, they were definitely.
Many of the actual game one would need a rework, like the Green Knight, the Henry Le Massif, and some other. They could really get some love.
Yeah, I think now that they've gotten a really good push, because I think legendary heroes overall, even the ones that we got in Shadows of Change, are fairly good. Like they are very good, and it's about time that we started getting more of that. Not at the cost of FLC.
We got in Shadows of Change Saitagat, the Gundam.
Yeah. The Golden Knight, she's not too bad. I do think that she needs a bear, though.
Maybe. And Acold was the one.
And Acold was quite good at doing damage and so on.
Yeah, he actually got healing, so very, very helpful for the Chaos Warriors.
Yeah.
Warriors of Chaos. But those.
Oh, and the Blue Scribes.
Yeah. I always get confused when I'm thinking about the Shadows of Change because it was such a Frankenstein DLC.
Yeah.
It has everything and nothing.
Yeah, it was like, oh, let's throw a lot of monsters at people, which was cool but also weird. Like, I still to this day don't like the thing in the woods being used by Kislev.
It doesn't. The Kislev and Zinch are still in very bad position.
Yeah,
we'll talk about the base game.
Yeah. There's some clear holes when it comes to that. Whereas I think Cafe got a lot of cooler stuff. Obviously, you've got like the lion, the moonbird, just in general.
Cafe, at least it's streamlined on one theme about the faction. Kislev, after especially the lore changes, because we talked about it ages ago on podcast.
Yeah.
Kislev doesn't have any personality right now.
At all.
It's
At
all
all.
over the place.
There's. It makes me think like maybe they have this overarching idea for Kislev because it's clear that because they mention like, oh, there's this ice court, there is this problem with the different cultures, there is the churches fighting, blah 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 blah. I was like, cool. Where is that in game? Like,
No. You have the ice bows,
yeah,
the sledges, and also the frostworm that doesn't fit the faction to this day at all.
yeah. At least
my
they.
opinion.
Thing is, like, frostworms for me was always just super odd, right? Because I was thinking, ooh, frostworms could be cool. We could get the dragons, which are supposed to be in Norska and stuff like that, and then they go,
Yeah,
let's
but
have a wingless lizard, you know, like.
Yeah, it's like I really like the old Kislev. old
I'm
Lord Kislev.
starting to grow on this one. Like, it's taken
No,
me a
yeah.
while.
Copium.
No, I mean, like, I like the designs of certain troops and so on, but without the context, it's like they talk about the religions a lot, right? They talk about the different priesthoods and so on, but the patriarch is vanilla, right? It doesn't really separate from like a patriarch of Daz, a patriarch of
No, they
Ulrich,
don't.
and so on.
You got the different abilities, but that's it.
Yeah, and it feels kind of empty, I guess, right?
Yeah, the Kislev feels very undercooked in a way how Empire was before first DLC in Warhammer 1.
Yeah.
It was just Empire without the religion, without like the patriarch, the supreme patriarch, and I don't know. I'm thinking about Kislev a lot more than I'm thinking about the Roman Empire when I get to bed, and I don't have idea how to really fix the Kislev. I would really go like raise it and try it again.
Yeah.
Really, like the unit roster, and nothing really works for me.
It's I don't know. Like I think about it a lot because I'm thinking like
More than the Roman Empire.
not so much. No, probably more than the Roman empires. I'm thinking about future Sinesh stuff. You know, sitting right behind me. But I think for me is I want to see an identity. I want to see what the hell is planned out for Kislev because again, for me, it feels like it's a shell, and we'll get there eventually. Hopefully, knock on wood. You know, because like fuck knows how many DLCs are left and so on. But I would not be happy if, and we'll talk about the rumors later. But obviously, there's been rumors that there's like 4 to 6 DLCs left, right? I would not be happy if by that point Kislev was not given the identity that it needs. Like right now, I just think of ice weapons, and that should not be Kislev. You know, I'm thinking about
Maybe like actual Kislev one. If you play Katarina, then it's fine. I would say.
yeah.
Those magic units, and so it's more or less fine. But then if you swap to Ostankia, too much. If you swap to the Constantine, nothing fits. What are you fucking doing here?
Yeah.
And Boris is just sitting in the chaos waste.
Honestly, I don't see why they decided to spend dev time on Boris. Like, don't get me wrong, he's a cool character, but at this point of the story, he's supposed to be dead. And they're like, no, he's dead, but he was actually not dead. You know, it was like that meme, I died, but then I lived.
Somehow Boris has returned.
Yeah, it's like, I don't like that plot armor, man. It's like Glenn from The Walking Dead, you know?
Let's not pester on Kislev too much.
Yeah. But, I mean, I'm hopeful. I think Thrones of Decay kind of showed that CA are capable of...
Yes, for sure. How to say it? Maybe it's not the best times of Warhammer 2.
Yeah.
But it's way better, and I can say myself from the modding perspective, from the tables, it's way better. Like Warhammer 3, each update was a mess.
Oh boy, yeah. Yeah.
Like in table wise was a mess.
Yeah.
Changes for changes. Some strange rebalances, some strange new rows. We need to change everything. Like this one, modding for those 2 weeks is a treat. Modding this DLC so far is a treat. There's a lot of content, but it's done very well.
That's good. That's good. Because I know that, like you said, that with lots of things changing in the background, a lot of modders were leaving because they were like, "Fuck this, man! I can't keep doing this." You know?
Warhammer 3 was very hard in terms of modding from the first days,
Yeah.
and I don't know how I survived. Really.
Honestly, I don't know how you did because like I'm in a few discords for a few different modding groups, right? And I was seeing a lot of people going, "Oh my god, they changed this! Oh my god, they changed that!" It's like, oh boy, you know, like last thing we need is another Exodus.
And most of the things were just not working. Yeah. Or the values. No, this long talk would be about that. But yeah, this is the first one that is really not messed up in terms of stuff and not changes for changes. Because like in the past, CA, especially in Warhammer 3, had a like a very big habit of changing the names of stuff just to changing them.
Yeah.
Of course, thanks to Pack File Manager, Rusty Pack File Manager by Frodo, you can do it all by once. But in the past, especially when the Warhammer 3 was beginning, you had to do everything manually, and it was like, why?
Yeah.
We still, the best reminiscence of this is that we have 4 Guardian abilities.
Yeah.
They are named the same. They're using the same effects. They have just different ID. Like, why?
That's odd. That's honestly odd. Hopefully, things can get cleared up. I mean, you never know. What we do need, and I still stand by it, we still need a what's that thing that Stellaris has, man? Well, like a team that just fixes up stuff in the background and so on.
Custodies team.
Yeah, well, we need that honestly, because even though like things are getting good, this game could potentially last a few more years. There is a lot of stuff that they could milk out from this. People would easily buy like character packs, for example. No new units, but a bunch of new legendary lords, voiced with their own mechanics and so on.
There is a potential, but I think there will be a point that they should just leave it, because I heard like a very good example of that with Monster Hunter games.
Yeah.
Like everyone wanted more DLCs to Monster Hunter World, and they said that they are releasing the Rise. And I played the Rise, and I would say that the fact that they stopped doing World and started to make a different game was the best move ever, because they learned from the mistakes. There are so many fundamental flaws in Total War Warhammer Trilogy that can be fixed in the next game, and I think we are closer and closer to the point that let's make this Warhammer 40k.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, man. I've been hearing all the rumors. Everyone's been hearing all the rumors, right, about 40k, and I'm looking forward to the potential of this being a thing. I think it's true. I honestly think it's true.
I think the same.
But RCA going to learn from their mistakes. That's the big thing, right? Because the fantasy guys have been a bit more forgiving. I think it's
You're back.
Oh, did it cut down for a second?
Yeah, you cut down for a second.
Weird. Well, the fantasy guys have always been a bit more forgiving, right? Where the 40k fans, they're generally not. You know.
You think it will be too pure for the community?
I think that if they make silly mistakes, there's going to be a lot of drama on the Reddit. There's going to be loads of drama all over the place. And a shit show like
way
that,
bigger community. It's way bigger community.
Much. Like we are the larger side of the Total War scene right now, right? I don't care what the historical guys say. You guys are fragmented, whereas the Warhammer Fantasy guys, we just want to see cool shit do cool shit, right? The 40k franchise, that fan base is going to be not even tenfold. I'd say like 50 times the amount of this, right?
Yeah.
And many of them are very angry people.
Angry Marines. But I don't know if I would agree with that, because like look how Community of Dawn of War is still alive very much.
Yeah.
And you have the unification mods, apocalypse mods, and those mods usually bend the lore in many cases.
Yes, but those are mods. And mods are given leeway. Mods are usually given leeway a little bit.
Okay, but I think people would forgive many things if they see the Space Marines actually fighting in Total War style with the animations, models,
Well,
and
that's the
fighting
funny thing.
tanks.
I talk about this in videos a lot, and people keep going, "Oh, it's never going to work. It's never going to work." It's like, no, that's not the problem. Mechanically, it's going to work because you guys seem to forget that Epic was a thing, and obviously now with the Apocalypse rules for 40k, like you're supposed to take big armies. Like it's going to happen. It's the same thing as how it works with. Like I use Warhammer Fantasy as an example. People go, "Oh yeah, because this, that." Is like, no, you never used to take fucking 60 ogre balls together. There were groups of 6, and that's it. You know?
Yeah. The Bile Trolls were single
Yeah,
monsters in
Baltrol.
most cases.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm fine with it. I am completely fine with it. I hope that it's good. I hope that that DLC practices are learned from this, because I did have a genuine worry actually, and I mentioned this a long time, when Pharaoh announced the skins pack, right?
Yeah. I was confused with those DLCs and stuff and so on.
And I was like, are they just going to charge a $5 for a recolor for a Space Marine chapter or something? You know?
I think everything in terms of advertisement of Pharaoh was a misstep.
Yeah.
And it was a big stretch experiment. I hope the idea was not from CA.
Oh,
And-
there's always one manager who thinks that he knows the fan base better than everyone else, and usually that guy doesn't actually play the fucking games too.
Yeah. You can feel it. You can feel it. You could feel it with the Pharaoh. But I hope the point that you are getting. I would love Warhammer 40k to not have a big DLC packs, but one faction, one legendary lot every 2-3 months.
Well,
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, there needs to be, if this does happen, because you never know, the world could end tomorrow, right? If it does happen, they need to ramp up like DLCs. It can't be every 8 months, because that does hurt in terms of players coming back. We had a lot of players coming back for Thrones, which is amazing, but it's very easy to forget about Warhammer 3 if the DLCs, if the next one, for example, and we'll talk about this rumor a little bit later, if it takes 8 months, that will just be nail on the head.
And it can be even longer because many people didn't bought Shadows of Change. So many people didn't play since Chaos Dwarf. So it's almost a year, I think. I don't remember when it was released.
Yeah.
Yeah, so many people were not playing for a year.
Yeah.
Let's say, yeah. And yeah, I would like to have more smaller DLCs.
Yeah.
Like every 2-3 months with one faction, one chapter of Space Marines, one regiment of Imperial Guard, and so on.
Yeah.
I know that would be hurt modding a lot.
Yeah.
But the game would thrive from it, and also we need more patches on this game.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy that we seem to be getting a hotfix every week, because at the end of the day, it's showing.
This is actual good hotfix.
Yeah.
The hotfixes to Shadows of Change were terrible. Each second one of them were breaking stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there was the panic, I guess, with Shadows of Change. Here, I think why the hotfixes are good is because the morale at CA is good. I know that from experience, because I talk to a lot of people at CA, not just the influencer managers. I talk to devs, and they seem to be feeling confident.
Yeah, you can feel it. You can feel it with the content. You can feel it with how they're writing the posts, even the hotfix one, and it's way better. Yeah, way better.
Yeah, I love the hotfix. The fact that they went into detail, like with the thing about the frostworm. It's like, okay, look, we've made it smaller, we've given it a little bit of a boost, and they went into specific details. Like, that's fantastic. Like, that is well written. I'm really, really happy about that. It's like, we need more of that. Communication is very, very important, because we're invested. At this point, people have put in like 500 euros into the franchise, right? And it's.
I don't want to count it.
It's still not as bad as people say, because like a lot of people say, like, oh yeah, it's quite expensive. It's like, yeah, but you've been putting that money in a 10-year basis, right?
Yeah, it's like playing paying World of Warcraft or something.
Exactly, yeah.
Or you go to the cinema every week. It's
Yeah. Whereas like 500 euros won't get me a good army for Old World, believe me. Like, but
yeah,
you've been
yeah,
seeing me
yeah.
posting my armies recently, right? I just recently finished up my Wood Elves, and it's
Mhm.
like that was fucking expensive, man. Like,
I still think that $25 the whole package DLC is a bit steep.
yeah.
Let's
Well,
say.
it's better when you've got the cutoffs, right? Like, so you don't have to buy one, you don't have to buy the whole thing.
Yeah, but you see the big price still there. Yeah, it's with new games. Some games are way too expensive, and you're waiting for a discount.
Yeah.
But the base price still was very high, and it's just not good.
Yeah. So I don't mind the price as long as like
But we are not objective here because we work. Yeah, this is our work, so we always buy the DLCs,
yeah,
or you get them,
yeah,
or things like that. Or I also get a lot of games in you also, yeah, to cover or just getting them for free from the trusty
yeah.
developers that we know, and you start to look entirely different on game prices when you don't need to pay for them.
Well, I put it by time of because like say for example for Thrones of the for Shadows of Change I bitched about it a lot, right? At that point
Mhm.
I stopped streaming it halfway through the embargo period. I'm like, fuck this, man! I'm gonna go play
Yeah,
Bannerlord.
it was very bad to play. Let's face.
Yeah, but like I can still see value in something, which is why I'm thinking like the next DLC, whatever it may be, needs to be Thrones of Decay quality, even if it's smaller, because they have alluded in the previous blog post that it's going to be smaller. But I'm saying, like, say for example, let's just throw, say I don't know, Lizardman versus Corn. I'm just giving a random example, right?
They cannot go down with the quality
Yeah, it has to be
anymore.
worth the price of what they eventually price it as, right? Because it needs to be there needs to be a reason for the players to go, okay, fuck yeah, you know, because times are tough right now. Prices are like rising everywhere. I'm noticing it. You know, I've got two cats that eats like if I have
Eat
10
them.
cats, you
Eat
know,
them. Eat the cat.
like I shit you not, man. Like what like my cats eat so much food. I go to the like I do at my weekly shop, right? And the woman at my local store is like, oh, how many cats do you have? It's like two. It's like, oh, but you buy so much food. It's like, yeah, yeah.
You feed them to the beasts of Norgul.
Yeah, you know, it's like they eat a lot, you know, and I'm a person who likes to eat.
Cat.
No, but like I like to eat. You know, like these prices are going higher, and gaming is going to be the same thing. You know, unfortunately, when everything
I
goes up, everything goes up.
mm, I don't agree with everything that you just said about the game prices, especially that we have a very big right now return to indie gaming,
Yeah,
and most indie games are normal prices.
yeah,
Like and there are a lot of quality time that you can spend for like 10-15 bucks or something like that,
yeah,
but there are also big indie games. I would say I would not call them indie, even like a double A right now, so Darkest Dungeon 2, Hades 2, Manor Lords, and so on, and those prices are really getting up. Like the Darkest Dungeon 2 was very expensive, and it's very expensive to this day,
yeah,
and it's no way better game than the first one, or
yeah.
even more content, in my opinion.
Mm.
Hades 2 I didn't play just yet, but from what I heard from people, yeah, they are saying this is a different Hades 1, but at double the price. Almost.
There is a level of greed in the gaming industry, that's for sure, which is becoming a massive problem because I don't know, man. It comes into this effect that the gaming industry has changed into something that people don't want, and that's true.
Yeah,
There is
it's a business. It's a business. Let's face it.
it's a business, but it's a poorly run business. I mean, the Helldivers 2 situation recently, you know.
Oh
Uh,
yes, yes.
yeah,
And the same just happened with Ghost of Tsushima.
exactly. I
They
mean,
just withdraw the game from many places for the PC that doesn't have a PlayStation account
yeah, which is just fucking
availability.
stupid. Absolutely stupid.
Especially that's a fantastic game.
Yeah, you're gatekeeping a amazing title away from people. You know, I haven't had the chance to play Helldivers yet, and
Yes.
now I have no intention to buy it
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
it's turned me off it completely.
Mhm.
I'm not much of a person that games. When I'm on my PC, I play Total War or I play WoW, right? And WoW is a company which is full of fucking greed. You know, like Blizzard is like
Yes, but World of Warcraft is very accessible.
yes, but a
It
lot
doesn't
of
have the restrictions.
microtransactions now.
Yes, but you have it accessible in many points. Yeah, the problem that we're talking about right now with Helldivers is that Sony just sniffed the great game,
Yeah.
the great hit on Steam, and so on, and they want to grab it.
Yeah, which is
And
stupid.
they don't allow it to live. They want to grab it.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And of course, we don't know how Blizzard, as an example, will be changing with Microsoft. But the recent changes for Diablo, I had a chance to play it yesterday, were amazing.
Yeah. I mean,
And you still have the game for free on Game Pass.
yeah. Let's hope that things do get better. I mean, obviously we have had very good games. I enjoyed Manor Lords, for example, and that's it's a smaller dev
Solo
team.
developed.
That was a drama in its own right. I get what he means by it. I get what he means by it because he
But
is
it's not solo developed.
yeah he is the only employee essentially of that studio.
Yeah, I'm only employee in my studio also. So
Yeah, it's just one of those things where I think it's a really good game. I really enjoyed it. I like those cozy games where I can sit down with a nice cup of tea
it
and
is a
so on.
fantastic game.
It's a shame that the smaller devs seem to be doing better than the ones with, hundreds of employees with loads of money.
I can tell you from my experience because like I am singing and more into the industry.
Mm,
Publishers are afraid of new ideas,
mm,
of new games. They
yeah,
really want the things that will work for
yeah,
100%. With many publishers that we spoke about about my game, so most of them are like, this is great idea for the game, looks great and so on, but we don't really know if it will sell
mm.
and things like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
because the Manor Lord idea is very safe.
see, I wouldn't call it safe
This is a
though.
city builder. Like this is just a city. Like the basic of it. Say this is a city builder. Yeah, but
Yeah,
how you describe Darkest Dungeon?
yeah,
Darkest Dungeon had really big problems on finding publisher. When they had a Kickstarter, the client entertainment paid
mm.
most of the money because they really like the guys. But like, how you easy describe Darkest Dungeon and sell it to the people right
Yeah.
now?
No, it's kind of difficult to describe, isn't it?
Yeah. Or say the Spire.
Yeah,
Those games really worked, but there are many such great games on Steam right now that didn't work for
yeah.
the people.
That's true. That's true. I just see it like because when I saw Manor Lords originally, right, I was like, oh
Mhm.
great, another city builder, right? And I was like, well, we have 50 million city builders at the moment. Like there's a lot of them. How does it
Yeah.
make it different? Obviously, the system in Manor Lords is quite good. The combat is very fluid. I quite like the combat. I like the other systems. Just in general, I feel like it's a very good game, and with a few patches, it's going to be great.
Yeah, but it's still a city builder. This is not Total War. This is a city builder.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of dumbasses with a microphone going, "This is going to kill Total War." It's like,
No.
like, and I feel bad for the developer actually because he actually had to say, "It's like, look, this isn't a Paradox
Yeah.
killer. This isn't a CA killer."
That was a great thing from him to tame the expectation. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's great in its own right. Honestly, I thought like I've been playing it a lot. I think I've got like 50 hours into it. I was like, okay, this is really nice. I was sitting down. I got I did my like chill day, right? I had a bowl of Doritos with some salsa, and just casually played. I was like, this is really fun, man. Like this is super chill. And I think that's what people want, obviously, from a city builder. They don't want it to be Total War 2.0. Still, there's creators now going, this is the Total War killer from my perspective.
That is solo developed.
Yeah, it's such a it's such a weird thing, man. It's such a weird thing. But I'm glad that it went well. I like the guys from Hooded
Yeah.
Horse. They seem to be quite genuine people.
Yeah, the people that I met from Hooded Horse very very good.
Yeah.
Very very not fitting the industry standards, I would say.
Yeah, they like to take a chance every now and then, which is great, which is something that we don't see a lot. Sometimes taking a chance doesn't go well. I will obviously say that because obviously Creative Assembly and Hyenas,
They didn't have a chance to release it.
yeah, but not every. I think the big thing is not every idea is a good idea.
Yeah.
That's obviously
But
a thing.
that was never a good idea.
Yeah, but no, I think that there is time, and you never know that there are loads of games that I've been playing Infection Free Zone, right? Because you know me, I love zombie stuff, man. Like
Yeah, a lot.
and it's really good, man. It's really good because it's another base builder stuff, but it's not as like Mana Lords. You're more like dealing with the kind
In your own neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, I get to play in my own hometown, which is great, you know? I get to put on my zombie plan into action, which is awesome. And that's a good game, right? I'm hoping that we get that, because obviously there's all these rumors for Total War. We'll jump into those, you know? The Total War 40k thing we've already kind of discussed. There's all this talk about Empire 2, Medieval 3. Fuck
I
knows,
don't
man.
have hopes for any big historical game right now at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like we deserve a historical game at this point, but there has been a clear lack of vision at Creative Assembly. Hopefully the people who have been hindering those visions are now gone, because at the end of the day...
I don't know. I don't know if there's audience right now. I think that people moved.
No, I think people will come back. I think people will come back.
We need this is a good example with World of Warcraft. Not many people came back for Dragonflight because there needs to be at least 2 expansions or 2 good games so you get back.
Yeah.
And I think this the next DLC for Total War after the Thrones of Decay will be the same. It will get even more people back.
Well, that's the thing. We've heard those rumors, right? Which I'm not too keen on, to be honest, if they're true. The rumors of Monkey King and versus Ogres next, right? Now,
Yeah. I don't.
I like the idea of Ogres getting some love because they are almost done, right? They need. I know that you don't like them, but they need like 2 units, Lord and Hero options, a character, a rework to fix up some very clear issues, and they're done. That's literally what's there for Ogres. People were saying Noblar units and stuff like that, but fuck Noblars. Just get the Yetis and the Stone Thundertusk in, and we're done, right? That's it. No more Ogres. That's it. There's literally nothing left, which is cool. If it's true that it's the Monkey King next, the Monkey King will be a big DLC, right? It'll have to be like the Nan-Man Wars to 3 Kingdoms, right? It has to be like a mini race pack in its own right, while still being in the same culture. I just don't like the idea of we've just had technically we've just had because like we're still living in like the same timeline as Shadows of Change.
This year.
Yeah. So we just had a cafe DLC. I don't want to see another cafe DLC so quickly. It's obvious why they're doing it, because they want money from like the China audience and so on. This was in the financial report for Games Workshop and Sega and everything. But it's like, if you keep introducing this faction as being, they are so perfect, they are so strong, they are this, they are boring.
It gets to the point of what was with the Skaven with Warhammer 2. They were getting all the best stuff.
Yeah. But
all the best DLCs.
The thing with the Skaven, though, is the Skaven are universally loved. There is so much love for the Skaven because they are so fucking stupid, right? The Skaven are like, you don't...
They're a perfect depiction of Warhammer.
Exactly. And I keep telling people who just play Total War and have never played the tabletop, it's like, you guys don't even know why people love the Skaven so much. Because the Skaven in the tabletop, you would get a rattling gun, it would be firing, and then it could turn around and fire at your own troops. You know, like, it's what the Skaven were good at, right?
Sounds very Skaven-y.
Exactly. There could be a problem, and it'll blow up and kill all your dudes and stuff like that, right? The Warp Lightning Cannon would fire a Doom Rocket, essentially, and it would kill half your army. You played the Skaven because you didn't play to win. You played for the memes, right?
Yeah.
And that's why they're loved. Whereas Cafe, the lore that was introduced with them was always, oh yeah, everything is great, everything is awesome, right? And it's like, that's not Warhammer. That's
They are
fanfiction.
too pure, I would say.
Yeah.
It goes the same problem with Kislev.
Mhm.
And in terms of lore, the High Elves and the Lizardmen should be the most magical factions
Yeah.
overall in the world.
Mhm.
And now Kislev is way more magical than High Elves. Even Gelt is more magical than Teclis.
Yeah.
Because that Teclis is in total dirt right now in the game.
Yeah.
And Cafe is like getting those terracotta everywhere, those dragons, alchemists, those phoenixes, the moonbirds recently, and it's not a bad faction, but it's so detached from this dirt and the dark fantasy of the old world and even the new world.
Yeah.
That doesn't fit at all. I'm
Yeah.
really happy that we have the Chaos Dwarfs and they are actually as they should be.
Yeah. It feels
Because
like a Warhammer faction.
I was really afraid that they will do dirty to them also.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. We don't really need a new Cafe DLC. I would even say that we may need a new Ogre DLC, but I would love to see a Norse kind Ogre DLC.
Oh god, yeah, man. Norska, like I tried, and I've said it many times. It's like I have tried to mod Norska using all these mods from the workshop and so on to make Norska fun, and I keep going into it, going, I hate this. You know, like this shouldn't have been
There
a
was
race.
recently a great Norska mod, but
Yes.
that's a lot of new lords, units, and so on. But mechanically, it doesn't fix us.
Yeah, the core issues for Norska still exist. Norska should never have been its own separate race.
Mm.
And we're back. Sorry, we had to stop because Venris spontaneously combusted, and he's reformed now. It's this
I was
whole...
punished by the gods of Cafe for not liking the DLC.
Exactly. But yeah, we were talking about like Norska. Like Norska desperately needs a rework, which actually segues to a really important thing. Creative Assembly, this is how I'm interpreting it. They don't seem to realize what actually needs help now. You know, like what needs to be updated now.
Yes, and you can see it with like a whole conversation today. Teklis, Malekev, some Quick, and many other stuff doesn't need that big changes, but just bump the simple stuff. Let's make that the Quick clan rats getting 100% XP increase. Yeah, that would be something at least for them. And this is 1 minute adjusting stuff. And this would be like a placeholder until we get back to the faction or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important because like Norska, I don't want to play them. Lizardmen, I don't want to play them. Like nobody wants to play them.
Actually, fuck them at the vanilla one.
Awful. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There is like I like Oxyodal. Oxyodal as a character, really fun, right?
Yeah.
But then if I want to play like Krokkar or Mazdamundi and stuff, they don't need unique mechanics, but what they need is to fucking fix like the geomantic web. The core, the geomantic web, the tech tree. It's just awful. It feels anti-fun.
Yeah, but it also goes to the point that there is a giant gap of power between factions, and I'm not talking even about the amount of mechanics, but the technologies.
Yeah.
Because like all the new reworks that he's doing, you can fill all the technologies in around 100 turns, and those technologies are extremely powerful. For example, the Hives one needs like 200 or something like that, and it's not even half a power of the new Dwarfs one or the Empire one, because Empire also got some buffs.
Yeah.
And there are some standardization things that can be done to the game very easily, because like changing how many turns are needed for the technologies are like, let's say 1 day of one person working, so just to check everything.
Mm-hmm.
But this game has this problem since Warhammer 1, really.
Yeah. It's been an issue because you've got all the Game 1 races, well, most of them, the vampires have not had any attention at all. But all the Game 1 races were pushed into the Game 2 quality.
Mm.
And then everything needs to be pushed into game 3 quality now because there's
And
been
they're
such
still not.
drastic change.
Do you remember that only in Warhammer 3 they changed? Because in Warhammer 2, the Warhammer 2 faction and Warhammer 1 faction had a different tiers for garrisons.
Yeah.
It changed only in Warhammer 3. This was the first thing I was changing in SFO, but it was never changed in the spam of Warhammer 2. And this is like a very easy standardization thing.
Yeah. It's an odd thing which just makes no sense to me.
Yeah. Why not more factions have rituals? Yeah, only Warhammer 2 have rituals.
Yeah.
I get maybe they wanted to do it for now, but it doesn't mean that we cannot add it to the different faction.
Yeah.
Just an addition, something like that.
It's so odd when there are good questions that could be asked, and these questions do get asked during like the Q&A sessions with CA, and they never get answered either. You know, like it's like. We'd love an answer. Just give us a reason. It doesn't have to be a good reason. It just has to be a reason at this point, because we just want to know why.
And those things are not hard to do. Like, this is a table work that it's also not a problem with compatibility, because everyone can just download it right now and it will be working.
I think it's got a lot to do with a manager, though, because, like, say for example, I know it's very easy for a modder to go, I could fix this in a day, but like you don't have to pass it by some manager who then probably passes it to another manager, because it does look like CA's internal system is very disjointed, where it has to go up to like 5 people up, and then by the time it gets back down, it's like half of the original stuff is no longer there.
Yes. So yeah, I agree. That is very disjointed. I don't have experience in such a manner of management, because like in our company, when we are doing right now stuff, we always try to do everything step by step, so everything is on par with each other, or we finish one system, go and finish another system, and go that way. Now it's everything or nothing. With Warhammer 3, especially the Thrones of Decay, we had some great changes, but like Balagar, Angrim, Wolfheart, or even the Volkmar are still left in dirt.
Yeah.
And they could be just simple changes to them, like add several new technologies, or buff the campaign effect on selection screen. That will be enough.
Yeah.
Or remove the upkeep the penalty from Balagar.
That one's needed. I want to like the campaign. It's not bad. It's just it's frustrating. But here's hoping for some bigger times, and I'm feeling like we could potentially see stuff kind of ramp up if things go well, but it has to do with if the gods allow for it, I guess, right? You know? Yeah. But before anything, you know, we do have to talk about something that you're working on at the same time, you know, because obviously you don't just do SFO. Let's talk about your game. You know, we've seen some stuff. You posted a few clips here and there.
Yeah, we are posting stuff because we are almost ready to have a gameplay release of the game, and in June there will be a playable demo, free for everyone, so everyone will be able to play the game.
Nice.
And I'm very proud of it. Yeah. Right, I'm more supervising about it because I'm mostly focusing on modding, but in our solo developer team, of course, I'm inventing everything, designing and so on. But yeah, I'm very proud of the game, and as I said it last year, without this game, there will be not SFO because of the crunch and how hard Warhammer 3 modding was, and it really allows me to breathe, really. And I hope you will like what we have in store in June. I can say
that's not too long now, eh? Fuck yeah! I mean, this video will come out very close to June, actually, because you know, production, editing, and stuff like that. But that's looking quite cool. Like, obviously, I've been seeing a lot about the game because you've been showing me stuff, and it's looking really, really cool. Obviously, I don't want to talk about anything just yet until you make stuff public, but.
You can see, you will be able to see some early access stuff on Nathan's channel.
Yeah, like I'm looking forward to it. It looks really, really interesting. I like the concept that you've gone for, and the art style is wonderful. You know, there's
and you can understand what the game is about right now.
Yeah,
not like last year.
Honestly, it doesn't look complicated at all, which is a good thing. You know, it looks like from the UI, it looks very easy to jump in.
Yeah, those are I will make like a videos about it because it's when you're modding for a long time, because I was modding for almost 7 years when I started to make a game. It's very different to making an actual game, and there are many things in normal games that you don't look at, but are very important. The UI, the sounds, the reaction of buttons when you click on stuff, places of where the things has to be done, and like going through the many games that we research, especially for the UI. I would say the Total War UI is one of the best, especially in such a complicated games, because you can disable the tutorials and you always know what to do.
Yeah, I think it's quite important to have an easy UI, because like there's been some games that I've played where everything just feels like really all over the place, and it's just like
there's also this indie feel in some cases.
Yeah.
Like for example, what I call indie feel is that windows just pop up without any animation.
Yeah.
Buttons, when you hover over them, doesn't have any reaction.
Yeah.
So you don't know sometimes if you can click on them or not.
Yeah.
There is no clicking sounds.
Yeah.
So on. There's such a small things to do, but really change the how you look on the game.
Oh, definitely, it adds a lot of to it. So when it comes to the demo, if you don't mind sharing a little bit of information, what type of thing will people be able to do with the demo?
So demo will be free on Steam for everyone, and the demo will have like a later part of the game. An idea is that you can unlock every major mechanic without developing them to the late game, let's say. But through the demo, you will be able to see every segment of the main game that you will be playing with, and see also the stuff that you can develop in the future. And we aim for the content to be from 1 to 2 hours with a replay value, because we also have something that in the demo, there are some choices in the quests that depending what you do, you have different stuff later in the demo.
Yeah, so
you playing in the demo and I playing in the demo, we had a different result in the end.
That's good. That's honestly quite good. Having elements of choice is obviously quite interesting. I've seen a few of them that you've shown me privately, and yeah, no, I mean that's a really cool thing. I think,
and we really want stuff to be excluding in a way that you don't have a FOMO effect because you don't know that you lost something.
Yeah.
But if you play the second time, you will see, oh, this is entirely different. Like in Witcher 2, there was entirely different act. Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending how you played. Yeah. And so that kind of effect we want to have. And for now, at least it's working. We shall see when the demo releases.
Yeah, no, that's always quite cool. I think people should be quite excited for that, because obviously, SFO is an incredibly well-known mod. Like people know you. So now being able to see what you can create out of your own ideas, rather than going, okay, this is a setting that I can expand upon. This is you going, I want to make my own thing. I'm gonna really sink my teeth into being creative without having to deal with something that already exists.
Yeah, I have to say that the making no game and compared to the modding have on advantages and disadvantages, but the big advantages is that you can really do what you want.
Yeah.
You have this idea mechanically, you can do it because we're making on Unity engine, it's very flexible.
Yeah.
And the CryEngine, not the CryEngine for Total War, Creative Engine?
No, they use Warscape, right? Yeah.
Warscape engine, sorry. It's very limited in a lot of stuff. I assume it's for modders it's even more, yeah.
Yeah.
But even for the game creators, it's limited in some stuff. But in Unity, it's very cool. Yeah, it's a lot of to talk. Like making no game is something entirely different than modding. And if someone says that modders are doing the job for the game creators, no, they don't.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who
creating games.
Yeah. There's a lot of people who say that as like, well, the game creators provide like assets and basically like the framework of everything.
Yeah, the framework and the core of the game.
Yeah.
This was like the biggest wall we encountered in our game, because you can have a great game idea and so on, but if it doesn't have a core, then it doesn't have anything.
Yeah.
And like Total War core is very solid because it's battles.
Yeah.
Everything that you do, you go to the battles. Yeah.
Yeah.
You end always with the battle. There's always a battle at the end. in every campaign.
Except for those people who are watching right now who just auto-resolve everything.
Yeah, but this is still core. This
Yeah.
is a battle.
Yeah.
You
I
want
get it.
the better effect, so auto resolve is better. Yeah?
Yeah.
So this is the core, and many people, when creating the first game, doesn't see this, and modders especially don't appreciate the fact that they have a core. They're just adding the flavor. Yeah. And I would say that SFO is nothing compared to making a game. Actually, in terms of the skill that you need, the design choices, and so on.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. And I'm looking forward to sinking my teeth into that. It'll be fun to play something a little bit different, you know? And
It is different. It is really different.
it should be cool. And obviously, I'll have a link to the because it was you had a studio YouTube and then a YouTube for the game too, right? Or is it just for the game?
Again, I didn't understand the question.
You had channels where you posted videos. Is it just for the studio or is it?
Yeah, it's for the studio. It's for the studio. But I post also on my media. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've links down there so people can check out stuff because you've posted already a few things, a few hints and stuff.
Yeah, we're slowly, and there will be a reveal of gameplay, trailer, things like that, with actual explaining what the game is about, not like the last year when people didn't understand.
Yeah, it's you know, when you first showed it off, it's like, hey, look, we're working on a project now, and now you can go, this is what the project is, you know, which is
you can play it. You can play it. Just it's free. You have fun. Play it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm looking forward to that. But with all that being said, I think we need to call it a day because I need to grab some lunch.
Yeah, same.
Really badly, but
need to eat and need to get back to modding.
Yeah, I'm actually at the time of recording this video, it's before I've gone on my trip. I'm gonna play Festus on stream. So yeah, that's gonna be fun because they finally fixed his plague issues.
I will be doing Regiment of Renown War Wagon unit today for Empire.
Fun. Very.
They
very
will
fun.
have grenade launchers.
Very, very cool. But yeah, thank you for taking your time to be able to do this interview. And yeah, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you all again very, very soon. Have a good day. Bye.